restaurant or cafe or general store.
You gotta go there.
Jency's is amazing.
Jency's, it's Chief Baker's favorite restaurant.
Where is it?
Jency's, it's
Can you spell that?
Jincy_S.
No
Jency's
problem.
Kitchen.
Brad, Diane drags you guys there.
Yes.
all the time.
It's in, go into Keys, and you go right down past, I guess, like a bank. And you scroll
Near
down.
Tin Killer, if you're on your way to Tin Killer.
These are
Yeah.
some good Okie directions.
Well,
Head toward Tin Killer.
Yeah.
we need to move on, but real fast, I wanted to just
so
talk to
good.
Matt, have Matt speak to, one of the hardest things that I think we do is find the right music for stories. It's like we get the story done. Sometimes music is part of the editing process from the beginning, and sometimes it's not, but I was gonna have Matt kind of talk about that process.
Yeah, it's difficult for especially stories like this that it was kind of trying to weave kind of 4 or 5 stories together, and so it's usually the last thing that gets done. You know, we had some original music record. Cody Brewer came in. He played a little bit of the banjo music at the beginning, and you know it's a lot of trial and error, and that's a big part of the editing. I feel like, especially for these type of pieces, is kind of figuring out what type of music works. You know, it can be painful for sure. I think we went through 3 or 4 versions of all different music on this one, probably at least, and that's not bad.
Yeah.
For things like this, you know, so it's sometimes, you know, you kind of have an idea and it works out, but a lot of times it's a lot of trial and error and kind of painful. But you know, when you find the right thing, everybody knows that it works.
But like Jen said, this I think the story is really good about explaining that the Cherokee Nation's also a place. We're not just people, we're a place. And I love this story, not just because it's the story of where the red fern grows and everybody has a story. Like Colleen said, she found when she was researching this that everyone had a story. Like my mom said, oh, you know, Christy Stanley's dad, he has that truck that was in that movie. And one of our bosses has the stove that was in somebody's house. And everyone has the story that's the connection. And I made this joke the other night at one of our screenings about I come from a coon hunting family. My uncles and cousins and whatnot, they were all coon hunters, and my grandpa was. But I said, thankfully, my mom, for my mom, my dad wasn't a coon hunter. He was too busy chicken fighting. But but that is the culture. I mean, Cherokees are not just Native Americans who are fit one mold. I mean, we are sometimes coon hunters and sometimes chicken fighters, and sometimes we are beaters, and we are all kinds of things. So
Beadwork artists.
Yes, not beaters, but so I think that this is a story that shows that we do not just fit one mold. We are a very diverse, rich culture.
Okay, so our next story is a shorter one, and it's our final one of the evening, and it is one of our Cherokee almanacs. So season 4, because we were able to take time off and record those reruns, sorry about that, we were able to do a lot more with our almanacs. The almanacs take a long time because you have to do historical research, you have to make sure it's accurate, then you got to go find images to fit. And sometimes there aren't images to fit with an almanac, especially when you're dealing with time periods of the 1700s and the 1800s. This almanac is about the proposed state of Sequoia. Show of hands, who knows about the proposed state of Sequoia? Okay, cool. So, anyways, enjoy.